So if you see, the first part is Linux installation, okay, but as we are using Ubuntu, we are using EC2 instance, means Ubuntu EC2 instance, okay. We won't cover this installation, but in case you are interested, okay, so on this operating system itself, this the demo on which you are seeing, I can download the virtual box, okay. So I have given the link for virtual box. You just download it, or a direct download. And if you want to practice, just use the same version as of now, okay. After downloading the virtual box, after doing the installation of the virtual box, you can install Ubuntu 20. The link is also given here for downloading Ubuntu 20. So it will be here. And after and the steps for installing, this is the link for ISO, and these are the steps for installing OS on Ubuntu. VirtualBox Ubuntu installation steps are given here, okay. So you can, if you are interested in installation, you can follow this documentation. It is quite easy, but we'll start with the Linux commands today, okay. So but as of now, you don't need to refer it. You have to just do this 2 labs later on. So what I'll do is I'll just open an AWS console, okay. I'll click on EC2, or you can directly go to the EC2 dashboard by selecting EC2 here, okay. Recently viewed, or in compute also we can see EC2, and we'll be creating an Ubuntu 22 EC2 instance, okay. Let's name it DevOps VM, okay. And we won't delete it for a couple of days, okay. So we'll just stop it when we are done. And for OS, just select Ubuntu 22, confirm the changes. T2 micro free tier eligible, that's fine. And what we'll do is, I have already have a key pair. If you don't have, you just click on create new key pair, and as of now we are not creating any security group. We'll allow the default one, or yeah, we are creating actually a security group. So create security group, allow SSH traffic, that's fine. And you can also allow HTTP, because if you want to use for some other purpose, and just give 30 GB, okay, as the disk size. We may need more, and just click on launch instance. So what we have done, T2 micro, we have created a new key pair, or just use an existing one, creating a security group, allow SSH and HTTP, and click on launch instance. And our instance will be created. Let me check if my keys are there. So I stored it here. Okay, yeah, I have this Linux PPK. So the key pair will be either of Windows or Linux type. So if it is putty based, then it will have .ppk extension, and if it is PEM, then it will have .pem extension. So let's wait for VM to get ready. So it's running. I'll just copy this public IP address, open our putty terminal. So you know that in SSH auth credentials, we'll have to point our private key, okay, this one. But we have already saved the session, so what we'll do, we'll just load it. When we load it, the credentials will automatically show here. So this is the private key which we'll use to log in. The only thing we need to change is just add our IP address, and it may change tomorrow, so you can save it if you want, but I'm not saving because it will change. and I'll log in. For the first time, the username will be Ubuntu. Okay. As we have installed Ubuntu using Ubuntu, and it won't ask us for password as well because we are using a key pair. So first time when we log in, okay, so let me change the settings. Okay, so first command you can say clear. Okay, so if you see, we are logged in as a Ubuntu user. So here you will always see a username via which you are logged in. Okay, then this is the host name. Generally by default, the EC2 instance or AWS gives it in this format, that is the internal IP actually. Okay, so IPA is one of the command to check the IP address. Okay, this is the IP address and this is the Ethernet interface. Okay, or you can say virtual NIC card, virtual Ethernet card it is. Sometimes the name may be ETH0 or it may be something else as well, but some always most of the times it is ETH starting with E. Okay, so this is the IP address. That is the internal IP address. Okay, IPA command will give you the IP address, and the host name command will give you what is the host name. Okay, this is the host name for this system. ls command will list the contents of current directory. Okay, pwd, okay, it will print the contents of the current directory, print working directory. Okay, so it is saying home Ubuntu is the working directory. And for learning more commands, we first need to understand the file system, or how the files and folders are arranged in Linux. Okay, so in Linux everything start with slash. Okay, everything starts with slash means in Linux we don't have C drive, D drive and E drive and all. Okay, so everything in Linux starts with slash. At the time of installation it asks us to create various partitions. Okay, so most of the times by default only one partition is created, that is slash. Okay, and inside slash, suppose we have just now we gave it a size of 30 GB, right? So if you do df-h, okay, disk free, okay, so we'll see that it has allocated slash all 30 GB. Okay, so this is the file system. So everything is attached, means to this slash all the 30 GB, but it is also possible that we will have a separate boot directory, okay, which will have some other size. So if you see this slash boot EFFI is having 100 GB. So these are the two partitions by default which are created. Okay, but we can also have a separate TMP partition, okay, which will have some 10 GB, 2 GB, whatever we define at the time of installation. Okay, we can have a separate home directory. Okay, but this we have to define at the time of installation. At the time of installation, by default, it took slash as 30 GB and slash boot EFI as 100 MB. Okay, so inside slash everything will be there. So if you see, it has various directories: bin, boot, dev, home. Okay, so we can also create our own directories. If you see, everything in a blue color is a directory. Okay, and if it is white color, there is no white color as of now, and these are scripts, you can say. Everything in green color, light green color. So everything will start with slash. Okay, and if want to go back to one directory, the command is cd dot dot, and if you see, we cannot go behind back. Okay, why? Because this is the starting point in Linux. Okay, so pwd, print working directory, we are in slash. If you want to go to home directory, we'll have to use command cd home. Okay, do ls, then again we can do print working directory. This combination you'll have to keep on using. Okay, then only you'll be able to understand. And if I want to go to slash now, I can directly use slash. Okay, now again I'll go to home. Okay, if I try to go to home, I can directly write home, because why? uh, I don't have to add slash because I'm already in home. Then I can go inside Ubuntu. Okay, so at the time of installation, Ubuntu user was created, no other user is created, and using id command will get all the details of that particular user. Okay, so it has a uid 1000, gid 1000. Okay, so what is gid, uid groups and all, we'll see soon. Now when we log in for the first time, and whenever the installation is done, a default user is created, which we give at the time of installation. Okay, Ubuntu is one of the installation user which was created at the time of installation, and it will always have its home directory in slash home. Okay, so let's go to cd slash home, and this is the home directory. When we create a new user, it will be created by default inside slash home. Okay, we can get the details using id command, but we need to learn first about creating files and directories. So in Linux, to create a directory, we'll use a command mkdir. Okay, and the directory name. So I'm in this case I'm writing dir11. Okay, again check in which directory I am, slash home slash ubuntu. If I want to check what are the contents of current directory, I'll just use ls. Okay, and if I want to go inside that particular directory, I'll use cd command. Cd means change directory to dir11. Okay, and just do ls. Again, if you do pwd, we'll see print working directory. Okay, inside this I can create a file using touch command. Okay, so after touch you'll have to give the file name. So I'll write file 11.txt. Okay, but this will create an empty file. How I know it is an empty file? Just try to cat it. Cat command is used to see the contents of particular file. As it has nothing into it, it will show as empty. Again, cpwd ls. Okay, now a few tricks. If I want to go to my home directory, okay, one of the command is just use cd command. Cd will always take you to your home directory. My home directory is slash home ubuntu. If I want to go to the previous directory, I'll use cd hash. Okay, hash, or you can say minus sign. I'll go to the previous directory. Okay, cd dot dot will take you one directory back, pwd. Okay, and now if I go again cd dot dot, I'm again back one directory. Just use pwd and just use ls command. Now I want to go inside dir11. Okay, so what I'll do, if I try to do cd dir11, it will not work. Why? Because when we do cd dir11 without any slash, okay, then it will try to find the dir11 in the current directory, and in current directory we have only ubuntu, we do not have dir11. So how to go to dir11? We'll have to do first cd ubuntu. Again check if dir11 is there. Yes, dir11 is there. Now I can go to dir11. Okay, but if I use pwd and if I remember the path, suppose I'm going to slash now. Okay, pwd ls. So if I want to go to dir11, either I can do direct cd slash home ubuntu dir11 directly, or other method would be do ls, then do first home, go to home, ls, then go to ubuntu ls, and then go to dir11. Okay, so there are various way to go. So either you can give the absolute path or give the relative path. Just do cd hash and I'll be back to my home directory. Now let's go to dir11 ls. Okay, so we have created a file using touch command. touch will always create a empty file. But if you want to add the contents to the file, there are two methods. One would be using cat, but remember cat can be used for creating file and also seeing its contents. Okay, so this command will show the contents. As we don't have anything in this file, it will be empty. And if you want to enter any contents, okay, so we just use a greater than sign and just write this is my file. Okay, and to save it, use Control D. Okay, so don't think that cat file one, if I use again 11, okay, and if I write this is my second line and just do Control D to save and exit. Okay, so with cat greater than sign we do not see the its content. So what happened here, to see the contents we have to use cat file. But if you see, if I use this greater than sign, that will override the content, so the previous line is gone. Okay, so if you want to append something into it, okay, you'll have to use double greater than sign. This is called appending. Okay, this is new line. Okay, and just save it. Okay, now if I want to see the contents file 11, I can see that. Okay, but with cat we can create means you can there are some limitations. Okay, with cat we can use, we do not have liberty to edit it and all, so for that we'll need an vi editor. Okay, so how to edit this file? Okay, we can append the line, we can override the file using cat less than or greater than file, uh, greater than sign. But if you want to edit, like this is my second line as first line, okay, then we'll have to use vi editor. Okay, and it's very important that you have a good hands-on on vi editor. Okay, so we can write using vi or vim, anything will work. Okay, so if I want to open the file 11, so check this properly. Okay, when I click open a file vim file 11, okay, now I'm typing some keys l p and all, and nothing is working. So to write into the file, I'll have to first write I, means type I. Only when I type I and when you see insert here, then you will be able to write into this file or edit this file. Okay, now I'll just move the cursor here and I'll just replace second with one. This is my first line. Okay, now again see at the bottom we are in insert mode. Okay, now I want to save this file and exit. Okay, then I'll have to press escape key. When you press the escape key, there won't be anything here. Okay, then I can write escape colon. Okay, W for saving, Q for quit. Okay, and it is always better to write exclamation for confirmation and enter. Okay, now I can again see the contents of the file using file 11. Okay, again we'll edit something into it vim. Okay, I'll be able to write into it only when I press I. Okay, now first line, I'll add one more line, vim editor. Okay, now to save it, I'll press escape key colon wq and not. W stands for save, Q stands for quit, and exclamation you can say for confirmation, or sometimes we can use it as an overwrite as well. Okay, that anyhow forcefully write this. Okay, so escape colon Q naught, WQ naught and Q naught. I'll tell escape colon WQ naught is for save and exit. Okay, and suppose I'm opening this file, I have written something into it, I don't want this to exit, escape colon Q naught. Okay, so without saving, just write Q it won't make the changes. Okay, so this was all about creating a directory file. Okay, file we have created using cat command with single greater than sign. Okay, it will just override the file contents whatever it has. With double greater than sign, it will just append it. Okay, vim is the text editor with which we can create a new file. Okay, edit it. And so for writing into it, we'll use I, then only we can write into it. And for saving and exiting, wq naught. And for only exiting without saving, q naught. Okay. And if you want to learn more about vim editor, so by default there is a tutor also given by vim. It's called as vim tutor. Just type vim tutor and press enter. So it will also you open a new file actually, and it has various lessons. Okay, so suppose now, see, the cursor is here. I'm pressing less than sign. I'll have to move it here. The cursor will go to the left hand side. I don't know what's happening. I'll just, oh sorry, I have to press H. When I press H, it went to the left hand side. When I press L, it will move to the right hand side. Okay, then K will move the cursor to the up. Okay, J will move the cursor to down. Okay, so if you want to learn all this thing, just go to vim editor and just practice in here itself. It is also a file for practicing. Okay, just do not save it. So just now I taught you how to use vim editor. Okay, so sq naught for entering and exiting without saving. Then I'm using X. Okay, I'm at cursor is at S. I just pressed X key. It will delete that character. And remember, if you want to undo, I just press escape key now and U, that will do undo. Okay, just remember this. Escape U will be for undo. Then again, it's saying the same thing. Press I to insert the text whenever we have to want to write. Okay. A to append. There are many options. Okay, so if you are interested, you can learn everything here, or you can directly use the every lesson summary. So in this we learned about you moving the cursor, okay, starting via editor, okay, exiting and all. And so in lesson 2 summary, let's see what happens, what it shows, is there or not. Okay, so lesson 2 summary again, DW, delete from the cursor to the next word. Okay, so there are many options. Okay, if you are interested, you should learn, but whatever I taught, that is sufficient. Okay, so this was all about the vi editor. So let's learn some more commands. Okay, so we have covered this ls, cd, pwd, mkdir. Okay, so let's learn new commands. So what I'll do is, to remove a file, I'll just use the command rm, okay, file 11. Okay, it just remove the file. Okay, cd dot dot. I'll go one directory back. Okay, now I want to remove directory as well. So if I try to use the command rm dir 11, okay, so it is saying cannot remove. It is a directory. So rm command is generally for removing a file. Okay, and if you want to delete a directory, you should add r. Okay, r stands for recursive. So what it will do is, it will first try to delete anything inside the directory, and then it will delete the directory. Okay, that's for deleting a directory, always use r option. Okay, and what I'll do is, I'll again create dir 12. I'll go inside dir 12. file 12.txt. Okay, I'll add some contents. This is file 12. Enter Control D to save and exit. Okay, now I can use rm-r file 12 as well. This will also work, and rm-r dir 12, this will also work. Okay, so whether it's a file or directory, you can write r. So why I'm telling this, we have to remember so many commands. So why to remember separate command for deleting a file and a directory? Use the same command for deleting a file or a directory. Okay, so this was all about deleting a file and a directory. Now we'll create a directory structure in which we'll have two directories. Okay, so it will be dir1 and dir2. So with this command, I can create two directories in a single command. So two directories are created. I'll go to dir1. I'll create a new file. So it's not mandatory to do touch to create an empty file and then create a new file. We can directly create file using cat command file1.txt. This is file 1. Okay. Control D, do ls. So where I am now, I am in dir1. Okay, and file 1 is here. Just go one directory back, cd dot dot, do ls. I want to copy the file 1 into dir2. So the command would be cp dir1, okay, file 1, and where I want to copy dir2. So the cp command is copy from source to destination. Okay, but we have to give the complete path. If I write just cp file 1 and do dir2, it will not work because in current directory there is no file. So this mistake we do. So we need to give the absolute path, then only we'll be able to copy it. Now let's create one more directory inside dir2 as sub dir2 subdirectory. One more directory I've created. Let's create a file inside it. So it's not necessary that I should go inside it. If you know the path, we can directly create a file from here. Okay, so I'm just creating file 2.txt. This is file 2. Just save it. Now I want to see the contents. Okay, right from here I don't want to go inside the directory. So how I can do ls -ld dir1. Okay, so it has file 1 ls-ld dir1 and just to star. So it will give the contents of dir1. Let's the content of dir2. Okay, so sometimes I'll be using ls-ld, sometimes ls- or means ll commands will also work. So if you see, there is a dir2 sub dir2, and inside that also we have file. So just add star and we can see the contents. Okay, so what I want to do is I just want to move this dir2 sub dir2 where I want to move in dir1. Okay, so this is like cut and paste. I have done cut for sub dir2 and pasted in dir1. So let's go to dir1 and check the contents. So if you see, it has sub dir2 as well, which has file 2. Okay, so if you see, I have done a mistake that file 2 spelling mistake is there. So mv command can also be used to rename a file, mv file 2 as file 2. Okay, so if you do ls, so mv command is also used as the cut paste command and also as renaming a file. Okay, so where I am pwd, okay, cd dot dot, okay, cd dot dot. So this was all about cp and mv command. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just copy cp dir1, complete dir1 into dir2 now. Okay, and just watch on the screen what it is saying. cp hyphen r not specified omitting directory 1. So what it will do is it will try to copy dir1 its contents, okay, to dir2, and it will give this error. Why? Because for copying a file we should always write hyphen r. R again means recursively it will copy all the contents inside dir1 into dir2 subdirectories, sub files, all it will do. That's why we have to add hyphen r. Okay, so again, like rm command, we always write r, right? So with cp also, whether it is a file or directory, try to use cp hyphen r always. Okay, and for mv there is no r and all. Okay, only for cp and rm will be using r hyphen r option. So few more commands we'll see. So cat slash etc passwd. This is the one of the file which has all the user details. Okay, so if you see, it is a long file. Okay, so we are not able to see the contents above this. Okay, above this, so what we can do is just add pipe less. With less I can move up and down using arrow key. Okay, and whenever you open such file, just use q to exit. Okay, so sometimes you do not know how to exit, so most of the times first try q, otherwise control c. These two options you always remember. And with more, I don't know if we'll show it properly because it's not very large file. We can only go down. Okay, we cannot go up. With less we can go up and down when we pipe it. Okay, cat slash etc passwd less. Okay, I can go up and down using arrow keys, q to exit. With more I can only go down. And if I want to do ls, I can directly do ls etc passwd like this. Okay, this will go up and down. Instead of adding cat, directly use on that particular file. Okay, similarly for more as well. Okay, and cat slash etc passwd. Okay, if I want to select a particular means I want to select only last two lines. Okay, so by default it gives all the lines. Okay, let's say I want only last few lines, then I can use tail command. Okay, here it will be more visible, so it will give only last 10 lines. Okay, and if I want only first 10 lines, then head. Okay, still in tail I want only last two lines, then I will use hyphen n2. Okay, similarly in head I want first three lines only, then hyphen n3. Okay, and again we can directly use head slash etc passwd. Okay, and head hyphen n5 only for 5 lines. Okay, and similarly tail only for last 5 lines. Okay, so head and tail, these are also important commands because sometimes the file is very big, then we won't be able to see that. Okay, Now the df-h command, it will give the disk details, how much it is used, how much it is available, where it is mounted. So generally a partition is created and it is mounted on a particular directory. So in this case it is slash. Okay. And similarly this partition is mounted on slash boot. And if I want to use want to use the usage, this is the free size it is showing. I want to see a particular directory like home, how much space it is using. Okay, so it will give the contents that subdir is using 8 kilo k only. Okay, and Ubuntu is using 17k. Directly for a particular file also I can check Ubuntu dir1. Let's see if there is a file inside it. Yes, so I can see the file contents of file. So disk usage, okay, in human readable format. If I remove this H and C, it will give in some other format. Okay, so human readable means it will give us in KB, MB or GB. That's why H. Okay, this PS and kill command is also important. So if I want to see who some which processes are running, okay, so you can, if I use PS, it is showing that bash and PS both are running. But if I need more information, I can do PS-EF. Okay, so it will show everything. Okay, what it is running and who is running. As a root user, Ubuntu is means is connected. Okay, then Ubuntu user is using some internal commands and all. This is with PS. And then if I want only who is using bash, then I'll use ps-ef grep only bash. And sometimes suppose this process is using a lot of memory and CPU and we want to kill it, then we can use kill hyphen 9. Okay, and the particular process ID, this is the ID given to that process. If I write it here, okay, it killed my session, it was for bash. Okay, so I'll have to again log in. So instead of killing the session, we can also kill that particular process which is using lot of CPU and memory. I'll log in again. So PS and kill command is important. Is it trying to download? Okay. And with the hostname command, we can check the host name with hostname CTL. Okay, set host name. We can set the host name for the system. They will set it DevOps VM dot example.com. So generally we should give a fqdn. Okay, so I'll have to add sudo to it, then it will not ask for the password. We will be learning about sudo as well. Okay, so now the host name is set. Okay, so this is the host, actually a name, host name, and the complete is called as fqdn, fully qualified domain name. We do not have domain, but generally we set the host name like this. Okay, and again if I check with the host name command, I can see it. Okay, now still it is showing the IP address as the host name, IP address. So to show, will allow to again log out and log in again. Then in the new session it will properly show the host name. have to load it first and just open. Okay, now see, my username is not there, so it gave an error. Ubuntu. So if you see, now it's showing the host name. This is the host name and IP address we can see using IPA command, or if config is also one of the command, but it is not installed by default. Okay, so that's why I'm using IPA command. So IP address is this one for this Ubuntu system, and this is the host name. So generally in this file vi/etc, we should always map the IP address to the host name. So I'm just copying it. Okay, so I've opened the file hosts. Okay, and it should map it, but the host name should be mapped to the IP address, but in cloud the IP address may change. Okay, but still we'll do that. I think the internal will not change. So all this you should always do. Okay, you should map the IP to the host name. Okay, and we can also add at the end a shortcut DevOps VM. Okay, so with this entry we can directly use it, DevOps VM. If I do ping, it will ping to the internal IP. Okay, so this is recommended. Okay, so we set the host name using host names ctl set hostname command. Again, we made an entry in /etc/host. So most of the things we have covered here. VI editor is also covered. Okay. So what you all do is just now till 8 o'clock, just try to complete this lab number 1.